Hi all. Right, back with more of The Other Side of the Hill solo as my part 4. So I'm starting to feel really guilty now about Enemy Action Ardennes getting left behind now because this is the day after part 3 of this again. So I'm dedicating the time and trying to sneak some time to get this game going. Yeah, I think when you start a new game, if you go sort of, you know, you want to see where it's going. I still feel good about this. I still feel good about it, and I'm enjoying where it's going. It's different, isn't it? It's a bit different type of war game. It's not your hex and counter type war game, but World War Two, which is probably sort of my favourite sort of war stuff. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm a bit easy about any type of war game, really. But yeah, bit complexity. And solo, obviously. Right, okay, I'm going to try and squeeze a small part in though because I don't have quite as much time as I'd like. So let's see if we can just get this to about an hour at the most. Hopefully I'm not having to pause too much. One thing to talk about, I did when I was watching back part 3 just before I released it today. I started wondering about this Romania and Bulgaria and the satellite replacements. Actually, can I not just find that in the cards? Here we are. Satellite replacements. Roll 1 yellow die for each satellite country with armies in the force pool, and then place 1 satellite army on the map. And I rolled just 1 dice for this. I thought I was right at the time, and then watching it back, I thought, well, wait a minute, they've got 2 armies put in here, as if there's 1 for Romania and 1 for Bulgaria. But then again, look, Italy's got 3, so Turkey's got 2, Yugoslavia's got 2, and Spain's got 2, so I suppose that doesn't really work out. I think I initially thought, because there's 2 in there, 1's Romanian, 1's Bulgarian, so the fact that they are both countries, wouldn't I get to roll 1 dice for each one of them? And so I thought, I looked up BGG first, couldn't find the question out there, so I put the question out there, and the designer himself came back. Pretty sure it was the designer. Yeah, Carlos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the designer come back saying that no, that only counts as 1 country. So we did do it right, but yeah, I did feel like it was right. Just the sort of little doubt at the end there, and I thought, well, it's best to be sure about these things. Right, I think that was all. That was all that was on my mind. If anything else comes to mind, we'll see. Okay, so we are on spring administrative phase at the beginning of it, and we're going to do the bombing of Germany. Again, we're still holding on here with us. It's going to start happening where they're going to knock that down and that. But anyway, no effect yet. So moving on, right, Wehrmacht replacements. We have 2, and remember we can knock this up to 3 now. We didn't increase our resources throughout that last turn though, so whether we'll be able to knock that to 3. I think you probably want to try and get that to 3 though, because we've got loads of armies now in the pool, the force pool. So right, so we've got 2 replacements. Okay, so our plan for this spring was, I think, to maybe go for Denmark, Norway. Now, it is slightly tricky because that is rough. Both the hexes are rough. And is it not just Oslo we need to take though? Right, whereas... Hang on. No, I've got that in the wrong pile, that's what it is. That's invasion of Greece. So it's Greece and Denmark and Norway. That's Oslo, yeah, so we only need to go into there. So when we play that card, we're going to activate Denmark and Norway. So the Western control disk is going to go there. And then all we need to do is, attack it once. But they're going to get an extra white dice for defending and rough. I know that. So we kind of do want to upgrade there a little bit. And then down in the Greece one, Greece it's Athens we need to take. So there's going to be one attack, because the Western faction control disk is going to go there, then we're going to attack from there into there, and then we're going to have to advance that second hex, which we can do. So again, it's only one attack. We're going to get a reduction because we're going to advance the second. So I think we can pull this off. I mean, obviously we've got to be successful in our combats, and both of them are just, not winter. Yeah, I think that's okay. So we wanted. Do I want a Panzer army up there? We've got 3 Panzer armies in the force pool. We've got two upgrades. So yeah, I feel like one of them should be a Panzer army up there, So both the attacks are into rough. So right, yeah, one of my Wehrmacht replacements is going to upgrade that regular army to a Panzer army. Remember, the stack limit there is 3, so all we can do is upgrade them. We can't add any more armies. So that's going to have a black, a grey, and a white, and then down in Yugoslavia, where we're going to go for Greece. I wonder if we should just leave, because they've got 4 at least. And now hold on. Also, now hold on. Where does the air naval marker get checked from? Does it? Well, it doesn't really matter here, but does it get checked? Because that's from the east front into the southern front. I mean, it doesn't matter here, because that's on a 2 and that's on a 2. But if one of these were on the 5, I'd need to know which one I was checking. You'd kind of think it was here, because this is where you're attacking, and 2. Right, so it tells us here on page 27, if the air naval control value in the front for the combat is 5, add 1 white combat die. Do not add this die if the current season is winter. In the front for the combat. Yeah, so the combat is going to be, with this one, it's going to be into the southern front. So it'd be the southern air naval control marker we'd be looking at. Okay, but again, that doesn't matter with them. But I suppose what I was looking at there is, at the moment, we have the extra white dice here for this combat. So basically, I'm going to get a black, a grey, and 2 white dice up there. And at the moment, I'm getting a black, 2 grey, and a white dice down here. So where do you want your other replacement then, Grant? I mean, we could... I don't know, this is probably... Maybe it is overkill. Which one's more important? I don't think it... that one's giving us a resource, isn't it? Whereas Greece is not. Oh, hold on. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Right. Okay. Make your mind up, Grant. You know what? I think I will go, because we are going to be going for Belgium, Holland, and France, aren't we? So let's also upgrade another regular army and a Panzer army. So we've got 2 Panzer armies. So that's our 2 points, Wehrmacht replacements. Done. Right, Luftwaffe replacements, we've got 2 of them as well. I won't go back up and show you, but I've got 2. So this is maxed out. Actually, no, I think it's just the air naval tracks anyway, isn't it? Oh no, it does do the Germany box, right? But that's maxed as well. So we've got 2. Well, to be honest, why not boost that up the 2 then? If you know you're going to be attacking to Greece, we could take a chance and drop the east one for a movement. Yeah, I'm going to put 2 points into that then. We might be able to reduce. I mean, it's a little risky, but I don't think anything's happening up in the east. We could move this one down and move that one up. So that's my 2 Wehrmacht replacements. Strategic warfare replacements, we've got none again, which is fine. We didn't get that nudge down, and we can't move up anyway, so that worked fine. Right, so military directives. Oh no, sorry. We checked for satellite replacements first, Grant. So strategic war replacements, now satellite replacements. Right, so this time there's 2 countries, and remember this is classed as 1 country, and I've found that out for sure. So roll 1 yellow die for each satellite country with armies in the force pool. So we're going to roll 2 yellow dice this time, and if we get one of the crosses, we're going to place one of the armies in one of the country's home areas with land supply. Right, so, and you only get 1, so if I get 2 hits, it doesn't make any odds, so I'm wanting 1 at least. Oh, yeah, just got the 1. Right, good. So we're going to get to pick one of these satellite armies, so we can put this one in Hungary or one of these in Romania, Bulgaria. So Romania, Bulgaria's got 1 already, and then Hungary's got 1. So I'm not sure it really matters, does it? Well, actually, Grant, you're clearly better taking this one, because then when we get the roll next turn, we've got 2 again, whereas if I pick this one, I'm only going to get 1 yellow dice. Haha. Right, makes sense. So Romania, Bulgaria, so we can put that in there. It's got a stacking limit of 4. That's just 2, so we're good to go. Excellent. Right, now adjust the production table. Okay, so, well, we need to know about our directives here, don't we? Well, the plan is clearly to play Invasion of Greece and Invasion. So Invasion of Greece is 1 military directive, and Invasion of Norway is Denmark and Norway is 1. So our plan is to play both of them, I think. So we need our military directives at 2. So we want that to be at 2, okay? Yeah, we pushed our production directives way up, didn't we? So what have we got left? Production directive. Well, we've got strategic bombers. The prerequisite for that is the card submarine bases has been played, and that's the other card we've got. But the prerequisite for that is the status of France's Vichy. So we're actually not able to play any production card anyway. So we can clearly drop that right down to 1 if we, yeah, we're as well, eh? And then as for for political, right, political's worthwhile having a wee think about then. Well, actually, what points have we got to spare? We've got, oh no, and we could put the Wehrmacht, we could put that up to 3. We want to put that up to 3, don't we? Remember, we can't put the Luftwaffe one up to 3, or the strategic warfare yet. So if we put that to 3, that's 3, 5. We need that, so 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's us on 10. Damn it. So maybe our diplomacy is going to be. I've got 2 cards with a 2 cost, and 1 with a 1 cost. Well, do we look at diplomacy Italy then? This is the one with a 1 cost, diplomacy Italy. So it's a 4 plus to roll. Status of France's Vichy, well, that's not going to count. Yugoslavia is an Axis satellite. No, it's not. Greece is an Axis satellite. No, it's not. So that's going to be a 4 plus, so it's doable. Yeah, so, well, I don't want to knock. I want to keep my Wehrmacht replacements at 3. So it means I've got to keep them at 1. So let's go with that, and let's go for diplomacy Italy. Yeah, okay. So that's me set 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're keeping the strategic warfare at 0 just now. And that's it. Production set. So next step. I'm neglecting the marker here. I knew I would do that. Well, I'm looking at my tablet for the sequence of play cards, which are easier to do, but yeah, as long as I know where I am. Okay, well, production directives, we're not doing anything, are we? No, because both of them cost 2, so we can't do that. So political directives next. So we go for this then. So what happened, it means we activate Italy, didn't we, with this? Yeah, I mean, I think it's worthwhile doing. There's a bit of different procedure of activating Italy, but I think we want to do it. Yeah, let's just do it. Okay, so I'll just hold the card up here actually. So you can see we need a 4+. We've got the production because it's political. Huh? We've got the political directive cost of 1, so that's fine. And if this fails, it just recycles again. So we keep it in our hand, I think, and can do it later in the year. I want to say I'll double check that one. So we need a 4. Status of France Vici, no. Yugoslavia is an Axis satellite, no. Greece is an Axis satellite, no. So it's a 4. We need a 4+ to succeed. So here we go. No modifiers. Oh, we got 5. How about that? So this succeeds. Okay, so what is the procedure here then? I'm going to have to get the rule book out for this. Because there's a for France and Italy, there's a sort of special Italy 8.1 it's pointing me to in the rule book, or the rule, which is on page 33. I can't really, I've got too many counters out there now, I can't really show you this in the book, I don't think, or can I? Let's see if I can sort something out. Nah, we're going to get a bit glowier, aren't we? I'm missing all light. No, it's fine. Right, well, this is what I'm reading anyway. So this is on page 33, Italy. So... Status of Italy is indicated by the status of Italy marker and the status of Italy box. Number of German armies. Right, hang on though. Right, hold on. I'm maybe jumping ahead here because we're playing the diplomacy of Italy. We're activating Italy, I think. Right, I need to go back a bit, I think. Okay, no, so I think it's just this still. This is the diplomacy part. This is on page 13. After playing a diplomacy card, so it's down the bottom here, but down here. After playing a diplomacy card, the head OKW rolls 1d6 and adds or subtracts any modifiers. Right, but we succeeded. So if the modified result is equal to or higher than the activation factor on the card, activate the country as an Axis satellite, see below, and discard the card. So we're going to discard the cards. Let's get that out of the way. Anyway, we don't need to see that again. When activating a country as a satellite, follow these steps. So it's just this again, isn't it? So I'm just going to read this off and carry this out. So place a satellite alignment marker in the alignment box of each of the country's home areas. And it's got in brackets all those that include the country's flag. So we're looking for Italy. So we've got Northern Italy, and we've got Southern Italy, and we've got Libya. Is that the only 3? That is. This is right. I think this is right. Place a satellite alignment marker in the alignment box of each of the country's home areas. And home areas are all those that include the country's flag. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. Place an Axis control disk in the highest numbered sector of each of the country's home areas. If any home areas already contain an Axis control disk, move it to its highest numbered sector. Well, this one contains one, so that goes to Florence. Southern Italy does not contain one, so that goes to Messina. And Libya does not, so that goes to Tobruk. Okay. Um, if the country includes an area with a resource symbol, add 1 to the resource value in its track. Well, no. This one starts with 1 anyway, doesn't it? It's one of the Festung ones. So, no. Right? And then place 1 satellite army in the army's box of each of the country's home areas, but not in bases. So 1 in here, 1 in here, and 1 in Libya. And not in the bases. The 3 bases, 2 are British, 1 is Greek. So, right, and then what? Yeah, this is going to be asking for trouble now because we're going to be getting attacked, aren't we? But this is how it goes, and we need to do this anyway. So, and the exception there was if the activated country is Vichy, do not place any satellite armies in the home areas. Well, it's not. And then place the printed number of satellite armies in the activated country's box in the force pool. So there's 3 for Italy. Come it. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 down here for Italy. And that one's still there for I better put that up there, right? And then if an area belonging to the activated country has a port box, well, we've got one this time in this area, place an open port marker in the port box. Is that? Open port marker in the port box. Okay. There's an open port marker in the port box and a naval supply marker in its army's box. There we go. Naval supply marker in its army's box. Well, that's there, isn't it? Like that. None of the other ones had a port though, no. Right, okay. And then... Oh, right, I didn't know that was going to happen then. That's rather frustrating. Well, we might have failed at this anyway. So the last step is, step 7 is, if the activated country is Italy, add 2 to the air naval control value in the southern front box. So, yeah, if I'd known that was going to happen, because I just bumped this up by 2, and I wasted 1, haven't I? But, however, so it's going to go up to 5 anyway. Yeah, we could have probably put 1 into that one. But then again, we had to roll a 4 there to get this happening, so it was no guarantee. From that moment on, all the satellite countries, areas and armies are controlled by the Axis, though some restrictions may be applicable in the case of Italy. 8.1. So there's some restrictions. What are the restrictions then? Oh, yeah. The status of Italy is independence. Right, yeah. So, if you look at 8.1 here, it tells you about Italy. Independence says no German armies can be deployed in any of Italy's home areas. So we can't put any German armies in any of these areas at the moment. If we change that to intervention, which I'm not quite sure how that happens, a maximum of 1 German army may be in 1 single Italian home area at any given time. And then if you change it to occupation, there is no limit to the number of German armies that may be deployed. Right, first time playing the game, so we'll see how that pans out, right? But I think we've done that properly, so let's just push on because I am pressed for time today, and I did have a little bit of a pause there while we was looking about for things. So that was our political directive. Yeah, and we're going to move on. Right, so military directives. Right, yeah. So we're going to play 2 here. Can we play 2? Am I allowed to play 2? Yeah, we can. Play 1 or more military directive cards if prerequisites are met and their combined military directive cost does not exceed the military directives value in the production table. So we've set out 2 and we've got 2 that cost 1 each, so that's 2. Important if the season is summer, no military. Yeah, well, we'll play 1 in the summer. That's fine. Right, so yeah, I'm going to play both of these. So I'm going to play the invasion of Greece. The prerequisite is the season is not winter, and the Axis control at least one area adjacent to Greece. So Greece is here. We control this area adjacent, and it's not winter. So we're playing that. I'm just going to put down here on the table at the moment. Is it when we play this that these activate then? Or is it when we... Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? And then we're also going to play this. Invasion of Denmark and Norway. Again, let's say it costs 1, so is the Greece one. The prerequisite is the season is not winter, so we're going to activate Denmark and Norway. So I think we activate these now, don't we? 3.4.1. This is probably talking about military directives, I think. 3.4.1. Yeah, it doesn't give me any more in the sequence of play cards there, so let's need to get in the rulebook for this one. Yeah, military directive segment. A military directive card is active during the turn when it is played until its objectives have been met. In the final segment of each operations phase, players check whether objectives have been met. Right. Some event and military directive cards may trigger the activation of a neutral country. For the activation, yeah. In all other cases, right. So we've got to activate these countries now. Yeah, I think so. So let's just do... I know I played them the other way about, but let's just do Denmark and Norway first. So what we do is place a Western control disk in the lowest numbered free sector in each of the country's home areas, but not bases. In the lowest numbered free sector. So it's going to go in Oslo, isn't it? That's not the right thing. That's a Western control disk. So that's going to go in Oslo. That's the lowest one that's available, that's free. And then place a disputed alignment marker in the alignment box. Disputed. Right, place a disputed marker in, so it's disputed alignment there. Of all the country's home areas that contain an Axis control disk, yeah, there is only this that's got Denmark and Norway. Yeah, there's only this one area, 17. Place a Western alignment marker in the rest of the country's home areas, including bases. And there's no bases involved or anything like that. Right, that's it. Actually, that's all we do there. Okay. Right, that's Denmark and Norway, so let's do Greece. So Greece, we put Western control disk in the lowest numbered, so it's going to go, because we've nothing in here, it's going to go in Salonika. And we're going to get another disputed. No, this is not going to be disputed. Yeah, because we don't have a... So place a disputed alignment marker, and I went, oh, hang on. Yeah, this is the other thing I need to remember. And I keep forgetting to talk about the paratroopers, because I think we're going to be using them for this. Right, hang on. Place a Western control disk in the lowest numbered free sector in each of the country's home areas, but not bases. So, because this is a base, they've got Crete as their base, which is Greece as well. Place a disputed alignment marker in the alignment box. of all the country's home areas that contain an access control disk. Well, we don't have an access control disk in this one this time. So at the end it carries on, place a Western alignment marker in the rest of the country's home areas, including bases. Oh, including bases. Oh, okay. So that goes in there, and we put a Western marker in Crete then as well, I think. Yeah. Because we've not got any access control that, well, I don't think we can. Well, maybe you do put a control disk in there, but we've not got it in there anyway, and we've not got one in there, so that's that. Okay, and that's it. That's the two countries activated then, Greece and Denmark and Norway. Right, so that's our military directives complete. So now we move down now into the operations phase. Actually, that should move along as well. So spring of 1940, operations phase now. Strategic warfare is next. So I'm going to push on a little bit. I think I'm probably only going to get to 40 odd minutes here. I knew with some pauses I was going to be pushed for time. So I'm just going to try and whiz a little bit. Strategic warfare. So we're going to roll the same 2 dice, isn't it? 2 dice, one is going to be grey because we've got the technology and we're sitting at 2. So 1 grey, 1 white. Put that in the cup, and yeah, sorry, just jumping back there. I've got my 2 military directives there. They're just sitting at the table. Now I think you're meant to put them up into this box here. But you know, as long as you know what you're doing, it's one of the things that's the 2 that we've got active. Actually, no, we should also be putting a combat pawn on there and a combat pawn on there, shouldn't we? And then we place, this one's going to go in area 25, this one's going to go in area 17. So, but there's sometimes choices, so I think you just put them on there first. Okay, so we get the grey and the white dice. Sorry, back to strategic warfare. And we draw a card for the allies, don't we? Roll a number of dice equal to the drawn combat card. Right, so let me just draw the card and we'll have a look. So 1939 to 40 on the strategic warfare column, it's just a 1. So we're going to roll 1 dice, is that right? 1939 to 40. Yeah, and we discard that. So we're going to get one blue dice. We've got a white and a grey, and they're getting one in the western dice. And does it tell us the results? It does. So we don't want to see an aircraft on the blue dice. Right, here we go. And we don't get that. No, these do count, don't they? Oh, have we not got a hat either though? I don't think we have we? So right, the results for that are what have they got? They've got the cards. So that's draw a strategic event. And that's draw a strategic event. So we're going to draw 2 strategic event cards, and that is no effect. Brilliant. So we've not even got the hit. So it's going to be Axis hits equal to Western hits, so there's going to be no effect, but we do still draw 2 strategic event cards, so let's do that. Right, okay, let's get first strategic event card. Here we go. And now, yeah, I was wondering about, because like 1 is drawn by the Allies and 1 is drawn by the Axis, and I know that probably most of them it doesn't matter who draws it, but I want to say that some of them might. So I don't know. Anyway, well, we'll see. Or I don't know if anybody wants to leave a comment there on how, in what order you do this. Or if you got to decide that this was the Axis one or that was the Allied one, maybe you've just got to decide. Maybe I don't know if there's an order in that. I don't think I came across any in the rules that says that there's a specific order. So, but I might be wrong. Okay, I don't think this one's going to matter. Right, this wee icon up at the top is a recurring event. I want to say that's one that you don't use in the What is it? A solo game, I don't think. What are we looking for? Strategic events here. Strategic events. Or events, probably, Grant. Events, strategic events. Rule 7. Right, here we are. Yeah, right, it gives you the recurrent events. This is an influence count, this symbol, which is not ignore the symbol in cooperative and solitaire play. Right, so we can forget about that. Right, the card is Graf Spee. If the fanaticism value is lower than 2, I think it is. Not sure if that's good or not, but it is. It's lower than 2. It's at 1. So I think we're putting this card somewhere else now. We're not carrying out this event. Is it put at the bottom of the deck? Yeah, it's got a wee green. It looks like if the condition is met, it says ignore the recurring. So we would ignore that anyway if it did apply. Ignore the recurring and unique events on the card. Place the card at the bottom of its deck and do not draw another event card to replace it. So that's what's happening because the fanaticism value is lower than 2. What would it be? Roll 1 Western die if the result is that or that. Unrest value +1. Okay, which is kind of bad. Yeah, I see. Okay, so that's just going to go in the bottom of the strategic event deck. So I'll do that. So that's us resolved 1. We've got to resolve a second strategic event. So here we go. Right, now we've got... Right, well, let's look at the card, because that last one ignored the recurrent event. So let's just, before we carry it out, make sure it's going to happen. Mussolini enters a war. If Italy is not neutral, Italy is not neutral. Okay, so we would be rolling 1 die. If the result's that, activate Italy as a satellite. Well, it's already happened. So, if Italy is not neutral, so that's discard it. If the condition is met, resolve any recurring event. So we do resolve, with this icon, we do resolve the recurring event. And then we discard the card, we do not resolve the unique event, and do not draw another event. So we do the recurring event, which is the USA one. So basically the USA commitment is going to go, so from Neutrality Acts, it's going to go to Roosevelt re-elected. So it's stepping up 1. Closer to the US joining the war. And this just gets discarded. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Right. Well, that wasn't too bad, the strategic events anyway. But we got no hits, so nothing happening with the strategic warfare. Which is a bit... Well, hang on. Am I not right in saying it moves that track up? Or no, have I got that wrong? Yeah, no, it does. Well, the good thing is that didn't go down. We didn't lose the battle because that going down would be worse. So in actual fact, it not going up, we can't move it up anyway. So we didn't. Yeah, that was all good. Okay. Right, so I'm going to just try and get through movement here before I have to get away. So we've done strategic warfare, on to movement. So the first part of movement is operational movement. And remember, if you control an area with partisan marker, you can't move the last army out of there. And your movement is based on your air naval control. So there's maybe not enough of what we've got our armies in our areas that are going to do the combat. So what I wanted to do was move something into here, didn't I? So our air naval control marker in the west, the east is 2, so we can make 2 movements in the east. I had a wee thought to myself. I was thinking about the fact that it says the satellite armies can't move with strategic movement. However, operational movement does allow you to move from an area in a front to an adjacent area in another front. And I don't think that's restricted by a satellite army. So, for instance, yeah, right there, in fact, this army in northern Italy, I think, could move into southern France. Because it's adjacent from an area in the front to an adjacent area in another front with an axis controlled disk. Now, whether I want to do that or not, I don't know, but well, I might. Well, that'd be movement from the southern front. So let's look at the eastern front first, Grant. Do you know what? I move one of these up and leave this guy here. So I don't know if I do or not. Yeah, let's just do that. So that I'm going to move that from there to there. And that's one, into Poland. That's one of our 2 Eastern Front operational movement points. And then I can then move this. Well, I might want to move that strategically, actually. Yeah, I think I might just leave that then. I've got to remember I can't put German armies in Italy though. So I need to remember that. But I think I could use the Italian army to try and work for the Germans, like for the Axis. So I think I might just leave it at that, because I think I'm going to move this one strategically into strategic movement blocks, and possibly into Belgium, Holland, maybe. Okay, that's my one. That's all I'm going to move on the Eastern Front. On the Western Front, I don't think I'm moving at all. On the Southern Front, though, which we've got, we can move 5. I think this is worthwhile doing. Just putting this unit into Southern France. Yeah. There's not a partisan marker in that, so I don't think there's... I mean, the only connections to that are southern France and Yugoslavia, so I think I'm going to move this, and like I said, move armies as follows: from an area in a front to an adjacent area in another front with an axis control disk. And although it's strategic movement, it talks about satellite armies may not use strategic movement to move to the Western Front or Southern Front. It doesn't restrict it within that operational movement. So I think I'm okay to do that. And the stacking, so I'm going to move that from there to there, operationally. Stacking limit's 4 there. Yeah. Actually, hold on. Just realised, yeah, you'd probably want to try and make the most of that. I could do, I know I said the Western Front I wasn't going to move in, but if I do the Southern Front first, move that into there, I don't think there's anything then stopping me from then, let's do the Western Front and moving that from there to there, if I wanted to. But we'll leave that at that. I like to talk about the things in case somebody says, no, you can't do that, and then hopefully they'll leave a comment saying there's something stopping you from doing that. Right, okay. Let's go with that, and that's my operational movement, I think. So, strategic movement. So I've got one reduced army in the strategic movement box that I can move somewhere, but I'm wanting to move this into there. So that's 1, and remember we've got 5 movement here. So that's one of our 5. And then probably just put both of them now into Belgium, Holland, I think. Yeah. So that's another one for 2, and that's another one for 3. Yeah, now that creates a vacancy marker there. Is there anything else with that movement? I was forgetting about that as well. No. And we need the full 5 armies there to be able to get 2 army group heads. We've got one there where you've got 2. Remember, they've got to be German armies. 2 German armies to be able to have an AG head. Satellite armies don't count. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's my strategic movement, that's why. Now, this not being... Yeah, but I don't... Oh, it's connected there. I think that's okay. You know what? I'm going to find out if I'm doing major blunders when something comes up and I'm like, oh, right, I see why I shouldn't have done that. Right, let's... and we've not moved any last units out of Partisan that we control, have we? I don't think so. No. Right, let's push on. So air movement, well, I don't need to do that now. I was talking about bumping that up by moving that down, but I don't need to do that. So, and we want our air naval 5 in the western front and the southern front. We're not really fussed about the eastern front just yet. Until the USSR, the Soviets come into the fight, then things change. Okay, so that's air movement. Well, I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, I want to command. Yeah, I think I'm going to just stop there. Because I think now I'm going to be looking at generals and that. I think we've only got the one vacancy there. And here, haven't we? And we've not got any stuff to deal with. But then we move on to the Axis offensive. So that's going to take me some time. So I think I'll maybe just leave it there. Well, hang on though, Grant. You've only got one appointment to do there. So can't I just look at my generals and it's probably going to be obvious? Because I think I was not complaining, I think I was sort of saying it's a shame we can't get, I'm not being able to look through my generals and decide, use him instead of him. But I think that comes when you're doing the battles, when there's more combat happening. That's when it's the leading generals, the leading battles. It's not so much the AGE heads and the OBE ones, because they're going to be the top seniority guys. So, so I think we've got Reichenau, Walter von Reichenau. He's an 8 seniority. And then below that, they're all 7s. So, if I want to appoint appointments, there's no dismissals to check. There's no question generals. So, for each vacancy, choose either one of the highest seniority generals in the available general space, and activate or in command general with a seniority equal to. Yeah, see. I could, this is where you do need to spend some time, because we've got Von Rundstedt, mind you, no, he's going to be going into Greece. So I don't want to change him up. But I could, right now, because we're going to probably be putting this guy in, he's got a seniority 8, right? The other option is, hang on, for each vacancy, I'm jumping about here, right? We've got this one vacancy. So for that, each vacancy, it says I've got to pick one of the highest seniority generals in the available general space. Well, that is my highest. And the other ones are 7, so I've no choice but to select him. However, I can also pick an activated or in command general. Now, I've none that are activated yet. We've not had any combats. But I do have an in command general. In fact, I've got 2 options there. No, I've got 3 options. I've got von Leib, who's a 9 seniority. I've got von Bock, who's a 9 seniority, and I've got von Rundstedt, who's a 10. So I could pick either of them because they are higher, equal to or higher than this guy. Where are we? This guy. So I could pick one of them to switch in. But I think But then that would then create a vacancy here. But yeah, you can see how that can work, because if I put Von Rundstedt into here, and just zoom out a bit, Grant. If I put Von Rundstedt into there, then I've got to fill this slot with somebody else. But again, it's got to be higher, so I'd probably end up having to switch him with that. But this combat event could be better than what Von Rundstedt is. So I dare say there's a bit of thinking through that. I think we were happy with what we had, weren't we? You know what? That's maybe worth a look. So I'm at 50 minutes there anyway. So I'm going to put the available generals back, and I'm going to just leave us waiting now at the command phase of this. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. And yeah, because I've not got the time left to do much. And maybe think about if I did put that guy, or did I want to have one of the other guys take that place and him to take one of their places. That's how it's going to work, isn't it? So, yeah. And the more that you start getting, the more AG heads that you get out, and then our vacancy comes up, the more, shuffling about you're going to do, aren't you? Okay. Right. I'll leave it at that, and I won't get a chance tomorrow, unless tomorrow night, but it's unlikely. But I'm still eager to play some more, so hopefully I'll get back to it soon. Okay, cheers.